Very good morning, cadets. Hope you have gone through my yesterday's video lesson. Yesterday we studied about Mahalwari system of taxation and the difference between permanent settlement system and Mahalwari system of taxation. Mahalwari system of taxation introduced by Holt Mackenzie in the year 1822. So today let us study about the one more system of taxation, famously known as the Munro system of taxation. Munro system of taxation. So that's why the painting of Thomas Munro. Thomas Munro was the governor of Madras Presidency in 1819 to 1826. So today let us study about Munro system of taxation. In the British territories in the south, there were similar move away from the idea of permanent settlement. You know, in the Bengal province, the Mahalwari system was introduced. The same way, there was a need to introduce a different system of taxation in South India, where the British captured the territories in South India. You know, we studied about Anglo-Mysore wars. So the territories captured by the British in the Anglo-Mysore war, that is the British territories in South. So in South, of course, the permanent settlement system was not introduced. The new system that was devised, known as Right-Wari. So what is the new system of taxation devised in South, which is known as Right-Wari or Right-Wari? It was tried on a small scale by Captain Alexander Reid. So Captain Alexander Reid, in some areas that were taken over by the company after the wars with the Tipu Sultan. So cadets, if you remember how many wars Anglo-Mysore wars fought? 4 Anglo-Mysore wars. So Alexander Reid introduced the system of Right-Wari, the small areas which is in South India, subsequently developed by Thomas Munro. So Alexander Reid introduced the system of taxation, and the same system was later developed by Thomas Munro. So Thomas Munro's system of taxation, which was developed by Thomas Munro, that's the reason why it is popularly known as Munro system of taxation. Munro system of taxation or Right-Wari system of taxation. This system was gradually extended all over South India. So by now, 3 systems of taxation we have seen. One, permanent settlement system. Second, Raitwari system of taxation. Mahalwari system of taxation. Third is Raitwari system of taxation. So today let us study Raitwari system or Monroe system in detail. Why it is called as Monroe system? Because the system was developed by Thomas Monroe. So Captain Alexander Reed and Thomas Monroe felt that in South there were no traditional zamindars. The settlement they argued they had to be made directly with the cultivators who had tilled the land for generations. Now the system, why the system was introduced? The point number one, in South India there were no traditional zamindars like North India. So in North India traditional zamindars or land holding was common. So that's the reason it is very easy to control zamindars and collect the tax. But in South the system of zamindar was not seen. That's the reason why the British felt that there is need to directly meet the farmers, the cultivators. So directly contacting the cultivators, and those cultivators they are called Riots, who cultivated the land for the generations, means they are of course ancestral property. So they cultivated the land till generations. So direct contact with the cultivators and the officers of British East India Company. Their field had to be carefully and separately surveyed before revenue assessment was made. Monroe thought that the British should act as a paternal father figures protecting the rights under their charge. So Thomas Monroe's system was of course good compared to Mahalwari and permanent system of taxation, because Thomas Monroe felt that there is the need to protect the farmers. So to protect the farmers, so it is better that the British East India Company can act as a paternal figures, so that the farmers get motivated to take care of their land and property. So that is related to Raitwari system of taxation. Now let us go through in a quick roundup. So three system of taxation was introduced, that is Zamindari or the permanent system of taxation, Raitwari and Mahalwari. Zamindari system of taxation, Mahalwari system of taxation introduced by Holt Mackenzie and Alexander Reed and Monroe introduced the system of taxation, that is Raitwari system of taxation. Now let us enter the second phase of the chapter. In this chapter, the second phase of this chapter, we are studying about indigo. You know, children, today we use chemical colors for coloring as a dyeing agent for clothes. But those days, a plant color was used to color the clothes. Slowly, this plant, which is indigo, which was seen as a sign of oppression by the local farmers. So that is what indigo, crop indigo, and the later same, the Champaran movement also related to the same indigo movement. Now let us study about the crops for Europe. The British also realized that the countryside could not only yield revenue but also grow crops for Europe required. Now what do you mean by crops for Europe? Crops for Europe means in Europe, of course, the growth of cotton textile industry, there was a requirement for raw materials. The raw materials such as raw cotton and the coloring agent called indigo. So the British companies wanted India to grow the raw materials required for Europe. By the late 18th century, the company was trying its best to expand the cultivation of opium and indigo. So what company was trying? Company was trying to cultivate opium and indigo. In the century and the half that followed, the British persuaded or forced cultivators in various parts of India to produce crops like jute in Bengal, tea in Assam, sugarcane in United Province, that is now in Uttar Pradesh, wheat in Punjab, cotton in Maharashtra, rice in Madras. So now you understand that the British East India Company persuaded or the pressurized the Indian farmers to grow crops like jute in Bengal, tea in Assam, sugarcane in Uttar Pradesh, wheat in Punjab, cotton in Maharashtra and Punjab, and rice in Madras. How this done? British used variety of methods to expand the cultivation of crops that they needed. So let us take the closer look of the story, one such crop, that is indigo. So cadet, please write down. So British forced Indians to grow crops like jute, tea, sugarcane, wheat, cotton and rice. British forced in various places because in those areas naturally these crops were grown well. That's the reason why the British East India Company forced the Indian farmers to grow commercial crops like jute, cotton, tea, sugarcane, wheat, rice. Now let us understand about crop called indigo. Within few years of system which was introduced, it was not clear that not well with them, driven by the desires to increase the income from the land. Revenue officials fixed too high revenue demands. Peasants were unable to pay, and riots, of course, they ran away from the to the countryside, and the villages become deserted in many regions. Optimistic officials had imagined that the new system would transform the peasants into rich, enterprising farmers. But this did not happen. So this is of course a painting. There's a design of Kalmakari. Figure number 5 and 6 are two images of cotton prints. The image on the left shows about Kalmakari paints created by weavers of Andhra Pradesh. This is about that. One on the right, the floral cotton printed, designed and produced by the William Morris, the famous poet and artist of 19th century. Two prints both use a rich blue color, commonly called indigo. Now what is the color here? The color is indigo. The blue color is because of a crop called indigo. The blue that you see in these prints was produced from a plant called indigo. It is likely that the blue dye used by the Morris print in 19th century Britain was manufactured from indigo plants cultivated in India. For India was the biggest supplier of indigo to the world at that time. So India supplied indigo to Britain, mainly to the cotton textile industries, and indigo was used as a coloring agent. Why there is a huge demand for indigo? What was so special about Indian indigo? And system of indigo cultivation, that of course we'll study in the next class, because Indian indigo had a rich blue color. Competition for indigo was oud, which was grown in European countries, but oud was not as bright as indigo. That's the reason why indigo was used by the cotton textile industries in Manchester city of England. Write down the important points. Take care. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.